Then we have a PEG and analyze, which generate a large number of false positives, and they most typically detect the presence of packing in the not packed ones. Finally, we have that analyze, heuristic-based, generate also a large number of alerts, because there are a lot of malware authors that used to put the section name like the typical off-the-shelf packer section name. So for instance, we found tons of samples that have the section name like UPX, UPX1, and so on. And this automatically triggers the analyze heuristics engine. We don't know why malware authors use this technique, but anyway, they are able to evade some heuristic-based tools. Finally, we collected some machine learning approaches. We have 15 approaches in the state of the art, and for each approach, we have several features categories, like P structure, heuristic, opcodes, n-gram, statistics, and entropy. We built two features vectors. The first one is W, which is basically the concatenation of all the features proposed so far in the state of the art. And the second one is W tilde, which basically contains all the features except for the entropy. We picked up the three most popular classifiers, which are, to our best knowledge, SVM, RF, and MLP. And then we ran them over our dataset made of low-entropy packed samples and not packed ones. So we totally exclude the samples that use hidden high-entropy data. Here we have the final results. So as you can see, there is a blue column, which is representing for the features that consider the entropy, and the yellow one, which is not considering the entropy. So there is not so much difference between the two columns, and this is a confirmation of the fact that entropy doesn't play a fundamental role in understanding if samples are packed or not. But what is more relevant is that there is no classifier which is able to identify packed samples with a negligible error. So to conclude, we have the low entropy packing schemes are reality and are pretty widespread. We experimented some static analysis techniques to see if they work, and apparently we have that entropy checks don't work, signature tools don't work as well, and machine learning should be improved. So there is need for new solution, and also in future, researchers should consider low entropy packing schemes while crafting their experiments. Thanks for your attention, and now if you have questions, feel free.
Do we have any questions? I'll lob one over while people are thinking. It seems like one of the potentially concerning implications of your findings is that authors that are relying on massive virus total data sets for doing like at-scale malware experiments, maybe don't have the same ground truth that they thought they did. Do you have any thoughts on that? Is there hope for doing using virus total for analysis? How do we move forward?
Yeah, I mean, the point is that basically downloading samples from virus total, okay, it's of course a typical practice in malware analysis studies, but what we should do is just first of all creating like a ground truth, and that's why we are actually sharing our dataset for future experiments. And the point is that we cannot rely on signature tools or over in general static features, or at least as of now. My idea is that maybe in future we should improve actual approaches like machine learning approaches or other stuff. And the general idea is that we should get some working approaches over the malware that we download from VirusTotal to improve our studies.
If there's no other questions, I guess we can go ahead and thank our speaker now. Thanks.